What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mind Something. If you're new here, my name is Jake, and in today's video, we've got a brand new GPU mineable coin that is currently profitable. I've hinted at it the last couple of episodes, and we're finally going to cover it. Also, we'll take a look at some of the latest news articles, as well as take a look at the total crypto market cap and the prices of a few coins. So, do me a favor, hit the like and hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and let's jump straight in. So right now, total crypto market cap's probably somewhere around 850 billion. Bitcoin is sitting at $16,871. Ethereum is hanging on to $1,200 by a thread. BNB is sitting at 243, down 15% for the last 7 days. XRP at 36 cents, Dogecoin at 8 cents, Cardano at 28 cents. Polygon at 83 cents, Polkadot at $5, Litecoin at 68-ish dollars, Solana down to $12.99. And let's take a look at a few of the GPU mineable coins. So we got Caspa first, down to 0.0053 or down 9% for the day. And I've been mentioning this on the last couple of videos that if we got down to this level, I would probably be picking some up. And if we take a look at what it could potentially go down to, I think it's very likely that we're going to find this is a strong level of support. So we may get a bounce here. Not to say that it can't go lower, but I think roughly about 0.0043, 0044, somewhere in that range, we're probably going to see a significant bounce, but I don't know what it's going to do long term. And I think we have a very similar situation playing out on Radiant. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now, I think it did drop lower than what I would have expected support levels to hang on to. We are currently sitting down about 5.5% on the day at 0.001254. And this chart doesn't go back far enough to show the key levels of support, but I think they were coming in somewhere at around 0.0014, and we're sitting below that by a pretty good margin, down about 10.7% now on the 24-hour chart. Let's go ahead and take a look at Flux. So Flux is down almost 5% at 45 cents. Ergo is currently sitting at $1.35, also down about 5.5%. Let's go ahead and take a look at the entire chart for Ergo here. So yeah, you can see we had a significant bear market for Ergo in the last cycle. We did have a couple of spikes here, and kind of looking a little similar here, having these spikes roughly at about let's see here, September and March approximately of 2022. And yeah, I think we're on the bottom side of the range, assuming that Ergo has some good news in the future and continues to do things. I think Rabbit has pointed this out a few times, but we did not hit our previous all-time high on this last cycle. As you can see, we got maybe about 3/4 to 80% of the way there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to Ergo in the next bull run, if we get it, right? Everything's up in the air right now. We've got so much chaos in the crypto market, and I'm curious, are you guys scared? Are you selling your bags yet? Did they have you shaken out? Are you thinking that you're going to transfer everything into Bitcoin? Are you transferring everything into stable coins? What's your strategy right now? Leave a comment down below. I would love to know. So moving on, I just wanted to cover some of the main articles that I saw on Cointelegraph. So the first one is BNB insurance for Binance listing. CZ addresses delisted project claims. So we got another one here. Bitcoin dips under 17,000 as craziest rumors over Binance sinks BTC price. We've got Binance proof of reserves removed from the auditor's site. So if you haven't heard about this, there's a company, it's not Masari, but Mazara, something like that. They're the ones that were in the process of performing the audit on Binance, and they basically quit. I think that they've seen a lot of scrutiny on other companies, mainly the one that did the audit on FTX. And, I'd be scared as well if I was them, because if they don't catch something and that exchange happens to blow up, well, that's going to mean litigation for them. So, you know, Binance's choice to use this particular company to do their audit reserves, or their reserve audits, didn't work out so well for them. It's unfortunate. And we just see one story after another, and it just seems nonstop. Of course, when I get to this point where I'm having those feelings like, oh my gosh, all this could just come tumbling down and crashing at any moment, and I'm going to lose all this money. And typically those times are the best times to be acquiring more. Not financial advice, but it's worked out pretty well so far for people who have had that strategy in the past. But this time could be different, right? I guess we'll wait and see. So the next thing we got is 5 key takeaways from Huobi 2022 Crypto Industry Report. Silvergate faces class action lawsuit over FTX and Alameda dealings. We've got U.S. Financial Stability Oversight Council urges congressional action on crypto. And it's interesting to see the narrative kind of switching right now, because, in the past, a lot of the people trying to get rid of crypto, they always had the same talking points. It was it's used for illicit activity and money laundering and all these different things. And now, instead of wanting to regulate the hell out of it, now some of those same people are advocating for no regulation at all. And the reason that is because the moment you regulate it, you legitimize the asset class. And they are arguing that it does not deserve to be legitimized. So it's interesting to see how things are playing out right now. It is dark times for the crypto space, and I sure hope that we get out of this scenario soon. The longer we sit in this bear market, then the worse things look overall. But, perhaps we get some good news out of all of this regulation that's going on and all these discussions. But, compared to where we've been in the past in these scenarios, it's almost just like it was ignored. And now we've got a lot of opinions coming in that really have no education behind them whatsoever. And it's unfortunate. A lot of these people that are in Congress, they have no clue about any of this stuff. They're just picking up talking points, and their opinions are based off of what's best for their constituents and the people that are lobbying them. And I really hope we get past this at some point, but it's a waiting game at this point. It's a bear market. What can I say? So anyways, moving on, there was another interesting article that I saw from Tom's Hardware. 1,000 cryptocurrency tokens met their demise in 2022, debloating the blockchain from zombie coins. The world of cryptocurrencies has seemingly gone on a massive diet throughout this bear market, as the number of active tokens has decreased by almost 1,000, the biggest ever annual decline according to Statista. The reduction brought the number of active cryptocurrencies from its 2021 high of 10,397 down to still overwhelming 9,310. Of course, there's more to the cryptocurrency world than Ethereum and Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean all projects are worthy of attention. In 2022 has been a challenging year for the cryptocurrency space. The entire market has been shaken to its core following the high-profile implosion of FTX, whose pieces are still being picked up. In a year of severe economic uncertainty, as a result, fear, uncertainty, and doubt regarding the space are at an all-time high. This led to the crypto market's capitalization to shrink by an astonishing 72% decline from its November 2021 high of $3 trillion to today's $850 billion. And here you can see a little graph showing the total amount of cryptocurrencies. So back in 2013, we only had 66. We got all the way up to 10,397 in February of 2022. But according to this, as of November of 2022, we're down to 9,300. It's interesting to note the explosion in the number of tradable tokens from November 2021 through January 2022, which saw a jump of around 2,400 up to its 10,397 maximum. When the grass is green, everyone wants to set camp. The bull market exacerbated, confidence and greed flourished. It's no coincidence that so many tokens, each with their own project, launched while cryptocurrency prices were at their all-time highs. The decline in the number of tokens can mainly be attributed to one of two things. The token project failed to survive the crypto winter, following a marked reduction in investment volume from both users and entities, or it was merely a scam or rug pull coin that never meant to bridge any gaps between today and tomorrow. CoinGecko, which uses a different analysis method to Statista's source CoinMarketCap, paints a much more explosive picture. It estimates 8,000 launch tokens throughout 2021, with only 59% of them carrying on to this day. Advocates of crypto are quick to compare cryptocurrency cycles to that of other high-impact technologies, such as the events surrounding the dot-com bubble. Unfortunately, the potential for profits also led to frauds, scams, and economic blowouts during that time. The argument is that this is what's happening in crypto, with bull markets attracting all kinds of bad actors whose only objective is to profit. However, the reversal is also true. Bear markets reduce people's willingness to part with their money, which means there are fewer chances of these projects actually taking off. The macroeconomic picture and rocketing cost of living only amplify this effect, and likely advances in law enforcement's actions against blockchain-yielding criminals and chain analysis should give bad actors some sleepless nights. Whether the future of crypto will only leave space for a few high-impact cryptocurrencies or a veritable field remains to be seen. For now, it seems that a culling is in effect. Hopefully, the blockchain space is up for rehabilitation. So, yeah, I find it interesting that we do have a significant drop-off. I mean, we've had one drop-off before. This was between July of 2021 through August of 2021, and we had a significant downfall from BTC's high of about 64,000 when it crashed down to below 30,000. So, I keep mentioning this on the channel over and over again. It's just a cash grab for people creating tokens to get some of the liquidity from you and from anybody else who is willing to throw their money at it. And there is money to be made in certain things, but you really got to do the research. And every cycle I have asked myself, is the government going to step in and shut this down? And through all the previous cycles, there's definitely been some attempts to shut it down, but it just seemed like laziness on the behalf of people in Congress, right? But I think they're getting a lot of pressure from the centralized finance banks of the world, and money talks, and they're doing everything that they possibly can to shut it down. Now, I do agree that, perhaps there would be some benefit to a clear outlined structure on how a crypto can start, how it can be funded, and whether or not it's truly decentralized and how that applies to the previous two things that I just mentioned. But if they don't understand it, how can they regulate it? And the other thing is, you can't shut it down. I mean, it just cannot happen. So they have to wrap their minds around how to have a clear and concise way to hold people accountable that do scam others. And if I'm being honest, I just see a lot of ignorance around this space in Congress. So, is this the last cycle where we see all of these different projects popping up and, a cash grab for everything that they can get? It's really hard to say. I mean, if I put my tinfoil hat on, what I would suspect is that, a lot of what's going on now with inflation, the world's economic situation. It seems to be all pretty intentional. But then again, assuming that those higher ups can orchestrate something of such magnitude is giving them a lot of credit, because let's face it, the United States Postal Service can't even turn a profit. So that's giving them a lot of credit. Anyways, moving on. So I know why most of you guys are here, and you want to know what is the most profitable GPU coin to mine. And right now, that is NEXA. Now, some of you have probably heard of NEXA, and some of you are probably screaming at the screen right now, hoping that I'll not cover this, but I've noticed a few other channels have talked about it. I've given it a little bit of time. I wanted to make sure that A, I knew how to mine it, B, did a little bit of research on the project so that I could speak somewhat intelligently about it. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the key points to note here on NEXA. So we've got a max supply of 21 trillion. It's a Bitcoin-like supply. We have fast confirmations. Let me read this part. A rapid 2-minute block time is used to make the payment flow much smoother on NEXA. This means you can build applications that give access to your goods and services much more quickly. You'll also have much shorter wait times when sending transactions to and from exchanges. It is a UTXO architecture. It was fair launched. NEXA was launched in a fair process where no coins were minted before launch, and anyone could participate in the network from day one. This helps to make sure the network stays highly decentralized both technically and economically. This was one of the most powerful things about the launch of Bitcoin in 2009, and it was important to carry this over to NEXA. And then also we have native tokens. NEXA has advanced token functionality built directly into the protocol by default. That means creating, minting, and sending tokens is as easy as sending NEXA coins. This is achieved through the group tokenization technology developed by Bitcoin Unlimited and is currently exclusive to NEXA. Tokens allow a huge ecosystem of projects to flourish directly on-chain, which reminds me very much of Ethereum. Ethereum is a token machine, essentially, and they're just printing things left and right, all on-chain. And this seems to be something similar, however, with no pre-mine and perhaps no VC funding. I don't know. We need to dive into this a little bit further, but perhaps this is going to be a better alternative when it comes to worrying about regulation. Then we also have high programmability. NEXA takes transaction scripting to the next level and offers functionality that competes with EVM chains without compromising on scalability or complexity. The future is exciting when looking at all tools and services now made possible directly on-chain on layer 1 with NEXA. And something that I was paying attention to in Discord, also comparing it to Caspa, everybody is excited about the transaction speed of Caspa, but Caspa has a very high or very fast block time. So you have 1 second block times, but one scalability challenge at the moment is the fact that I believe there's only like 200 or 300 transactions per block, and the amount of transactions per block on NEXA seems to exceed that by thousands. So as far as scalability is concerned, this may be able to compete with NEXA, with Caspa on that particular metric. Let's take a look at some of the roadmap stuff here. So NEXA scaling strategy, how we enable 100,000 transactions per second. There are a number of bottlenecks to allowing blockchain scaling on a proof of work and UTXO-based network, and our plan is to knock them out the way one by one using mining incentives. We've got Pool 137 is now live for GPU mining. $10,000 bounty for open source GPU mining software provided by BU. I believe the first developer to come out with a miner was WildRig. We'll cover that here in just a moment. So if we take a look at mining pool stats, there is currently only 3 pools, unfortunately. And as you can see, our plant has basically 100% of the hash rate, 99.8% of the hash rate. And as you can see, difficulty in the last 6 months has just been on a tear. And one of the reasons we have a significant spike in difficulty is because WildRig has developed a newer version. Compared to the old version, it basically increased hash rate by about 40% on most GPUs. So let's go ahead and take a look at our plant here, and I'll show you guys. I've been mining this to the hardware wallet, which I have on a virtual machine, and so far I have mined about 38.5 million, and it's a very interesting algorithm. So they call it NEXA POW, and it's similar to Kapow from what I can tell, but overclocking this has been somewhat of a challenge. I've been very busy lately, so I just kind of asked a few people in Discord what they had on particular cards and just kind of applied those overclocks across the board. Let me go ahead and pull up my workers here for you. So Alderon is 63070 Ti's, and each one getting about 36 to 35 mega hash at about 180 watts. You can see it does run a little bit warmer. I did try the BZ Miner trick where you'd basically use BZ Miner to set your locked memory, locked core clock, and core offset, and then switch over to another miner, and it should hold those clocks. But that did not work out very well. So for example, like on Flux, you could lock your memory to, let's say for instance, like 5,000 on something like a 3070, and it would lower your power usage considerably, locking it at 5,000. But that was not the case mining NEXA. So just FYI, this is going to take a lot of fine tuning. Let's go back and take a look at some of the other ones. So Naboo consists of 3080s and 3070s. As you can see, we're getting about 44 mega hash on a 3080 at about 200 watts, and about 30 mega hash on a 3070 at about 120 watts. And then going back to Tatooine, 3080 Ti, it's only sitting at 43.5 mega hash at 220 watts, but this may simply be an efficiency issue because I'm basically setting my power limits not to exceed a certain amount. And that's one thing I should warn all of you guys about right now. This algorithm currently is using a lot more power than what you've been used to in the past if you were mining Caspa or Radiant, and also Ethereum. So I highly recommend that you pay attention to how much power is going through each PCIe cable. That could be something very detrimental. And then the last rig I wanted to take a look at has really struggled. WildRig has not, or has currently, an issue with 6600s and 6600 XTs from what I gather. The hash rates just seem to be all over the place. So here I have 6 of the same 6600s. As you can see, one of them is getting 15.59 mega hash at 64 watts. And using the exact same settings, we're ranging anywhere from 4.3 to 6.5. So we don't know exactly what's going on with it. Hopefully that'll be addressed soon. Also, BZ Miner is working on his version of a beta for NEXA as well, and that might actually be finished tonight, and tonight would be December 16th for me. You guys are probably watching this on December 17th, and in the next video I'll be going over a detailed tutorial on how to mine NEXA and which wallet I'm using. So anyways, back to NEXA's Discord. There is a very helpful tool in here if you want to check profitability. So they have a bot, and you can type in the following command, so /profit followed by your hash rate. So 650 mega hash, currently using about 3,300 watts in software, And if I was paying 10 cents per kilowatt hour, it should spit out some numbers for us. So looks like cost of electricity is $7.92 a day, and revenue per day is $9.53 for a profit of $1.61, which is not much, and it's definitely gone down considerably in the last week. I've been mining this since, let's see here. I may be able to tell looking at our plant here. No, it doesn't go back that far. Oh, another thing I should point out, on our plant, the first payment will be 7 days after the start of mining, and you have to have 5,000 confirmations. So it wasn't quite 7 days before I started getting some payout here, but I think it was at least 5,000 confirmations. So just FYI, you're not going to be getting a payout immediately, and especially if you have very low hash rate. Obviously, I'm sitting at about 650 mega hash, so if you're anywhere lower than that, it would probably take, I would think, at least 3 to 4 days to get a payout if you're sitting somewhere around 600 mega hash. So, yeah. Anyway, so looking at the difficulty here, you can see it has gone up significantly, and it's kind of odd to see a differentiation between the net hash rate and what is on our plant, because I mean, essentially all the hash rate is on our plant, so I'm not sure why there's a discrepancy between the two, but yeah. When I first started mining this, I think I mined 10 million in the first day, and my hash rate was approximately 40% less than it is right now. And right now I'm only getting about 4.7 million per day, with an extra 40% increase in hash rate after the new Wild Rig beta that came out. Now I believe that beta is now available in HiveOS, so let's go ahead and take a look at the flight sheet real quick. So yes, I'm on 0.35.3. That is the latest version. So I guess it's no longer a beta, but just FYI, if you're on 0.35.2 or 3.5.1 or anything prior to that, your hash rate is going to be considerably less than the newer version. So as far as profitability is concerned, you know, we can do the math here, but I think this is pretty accurate using their bot. I have Xbitron listed or pulled up here where it is listed, and right now we're sitting at 0.0000185, and as you can see, just a few days ago we were sitting at 0.000003 approximately, and at one point we got up to roughly about 0.000005. So if we can get back to our previous highs here, we're probably making more like, what would this be, about a 3x. So we'd be making roughly about $4 or $5 per day with a rig my size, so, or a farm my size. Now I don't know what's going to happen to this coin in the future, but from what I can tell, if I'm not mistaken, I believe these are some of the developers from Bitcoin Cash that were disgruntled about the way things were going previously and have started their own thing. Some interesting things to note: if you go to mining pool stats and you search for new coins, you're not going to see it here. And I asked this question in their Discord, why it wasn't listed in new coins, or if it had ever been listed in new coins, and they simply said no idea. So, you know, is there some political stuff going on here? It kind of seems that way to me. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know. You know, I know plenty of people in their Discord are probably not going to be happy about me talking about this particular coin because, you know, it's most likely going to go up in difficulty. But in all honesty, you know, the channel is small enough. I only have about 2,300 subscribers. So for those of you who are getting wind of this a little bit earlier, hopefully it works out to your benefit. But, you know, do your own research, take a deep dive into this project and take a look at it. And, you know, if it's something that you feel is worth mining, you know, throw some hash rate on it. I've currently got my entire farm on it. I feel like Caspa's difficulty is coming back down considerably. Radiance is still remaining pretty similar to its highs. I think Radiant is a bit more profitable. But yeah, you know, if we can get some awareness to this project, then perhaps the price is going to go back to its previous levels, and hopefully so. So anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy the content. Remember to hit that like, and for those of you who have not subscribed yet, please consider it. Hit that subscribe button, and appreciate you guys watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one, which, by the way, will be the detailed tutorial on how to mine it. All right, I'm out. Have a good one.